Right then, so as me and my helpful assistant here are going to have a go at doing the bread and flour experiment. Now, this is to give you an idea of the difference between living, alive soil, which is represented by the bread, versus dead soil, so dirt, which is just normal flour. Now, I'm not a soil scientist, I'm not a soil expert, I'm just somebody that about a year ago took a interest in growing my own vegetables so I can avoid buying vegetables that have been grown with chemicals. That led me down the path of finding out about biodynamics, which is a step beyond organic growing. And from there I discovered the amazing Kiss the Ground and their work to promote regeneration of the soil, which is an absolutely incredible, very accessible and very low cost way of capturing carbon to reverse climate change at the same time as giving us amazing food that's grown without chemicals and in consideration of the land that gives back more than we take out. So for this experiment, this cup here, which has got some holes in it, is going to represent, with the water, it's going to represent rain.
Yeah.
So actually, mister, if I can hold it up a bit higher. So why don't we do the dead soil, the dirt first. So it's going to start raining. So what can we see? We can see that it's just running off, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just running off.
So that is a really, really good example of, actually if you don't touch it for a second, I'm going to show you something in a little bit. So that's a really, really good example of rain coming down, hitting compacted dead soil, so dirt, and running off. So just imagine that's a field and the rain's coming down. Where might that water be going, do you think?
To the rivers.
To the rivers, to the streams, to the ditches.
Flood.
Exactly. So the water can't penetrate dead soil. And the issue as well is with a lot of conventional agriculture, those farmers are using dangerous chemicals. They're also using artificial nitrogen, and nitrogen getting into rivers can actually kill the fish life and sea life, and that ultimately goes into the oceans. So we can see.
And then that might kill all the whales.
That's
and
right.
Fishes.
Exactly. So.
That I really like to eat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, but we want them to have a nice life, don't we? So.
Before I eat.
So anyway, that's a really good example there of what happens when water cannot infiltrate. It can't get into dead soil, and the runoff is going into rivers and streams. Now, I've personally played in rivers and streams, but until recently I didn't realise how contaminated and polluted our rivers and streams are here in the UK, and that is the same across lots of countries.
That's maybe why Daddy's got all these spots.
Yeah, okay. So on here, what else can we see with the water? It's gone all murky, hasn't it?
Yeah,
so,
and it has lots of bubbles in it.
Exactly. So that's also a really good example of
and
how...
it has some of the bits of land in it.
That's exactly right. That's a great point. We haven't practiced this, by the way. It's our first time.
And that might, whatever it takes to damage that soil if there's a lot of it.
You are a genius, and we haven't even practiced this. So, yeah, that's a really good example that when it rains... Yeah, exactly. But when it rains in real life, on real soil, on dead, damaged, compacted soil, the rain will take away, so it's washing away the topsoil.
Yeah.
I forget the actual stat, but I think it's something like 400 tonnes of topsoil for every acre is lost every year because of this. So that is degeneration. Now, over here...
We've got the nice soil.
Yeah, don't compact it just yet. Bread. So we've got just 2 pieces of bread. There's nothing special about them. Just 2 pieces of bread.
No butter on them.
No butter, no. We'll have that later for breakfast. So what we're going to do, it's going to rain again. So we can see there's a bit of a difference here. We can see that the bread is actually absorbing.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god, my finger's actually in water there.
Exactly. So it's gradually absorbing the water.
Nice.
What's the difference though? No, leave it there. So here we go. It's actually sucking up the water, isn't it? But what's the difference? Can we see what colour is the water?
Daddy,
Yeah.
Why don't we leave it there? Then we can actually see.
Oh, I'm watching it now. Look.
It goes down, and maybe in one of your next videos you can tell them if they did, or if they did or not.
Well, it is. We can see it watching now. So just now there was a bit of water, but within a few seconds it's actually gone down. What does that remind you of?
Good soil.
Good soil, but a sponge. So the good thing with healthy living soil is that it will absorb, it will suck up water.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat that.
No, I probably wouldn't eat that with bread or butter, to be honest. But it's also sucking up the water around. But the important bit here is that it is storing water, it has much more capacity, and bread is a really good example of living soil because bread was created with different ingredients, and the one ingredient that helped to bring it together was yeast, so a microorganism.
Yeah, and do you know when it's like really dry and then it rains and the ground starts cracking?
Yeah, a crack. Well, I suppose what we're saying here is this is able to stay moist for longer because it can hold the water. And what that does is it helps to replenish aquifers. So underneath the ground are big pockets that if it's healthy soil, that will get filled up with water. So then plants can access that water using fungi and all the microorganisms to suck that up and bring it to where the plant is.
That's what makes wells and other people drink, so we're actually helping other people to survive by letting them drinking more water.
Absolutely, and there's lots of places. Exactly, that's the whole point here. So then, because the healthy soil will hold a lot of water, it also helps to regulate the level of rivers because it's regulating the water that goes out into rivers and streams. No.
That's another bit of bread.
The other good bit here is look at the colour of the water.
Yeah.
So the colour of the water here isn't
good soil in it, so that
absolutely good nutrients. Exactly. So it takes the good nutrients which are created naturally within the soil by all the microlife, and it puts that into the rivers, and it helps to regulate the level of rivers. And the other thing here is that
Daddy's forgotten.
I've forgotten, but there we go. This is the first time I'm doing it. But
mangoes to suck up
anyway,
water.
I don't think a mango's going to work, but I think that's a really nice experiment that is actually pioneered and came up by somebody called Didi Pershouse, who is a scientist, an author, an advocate of soil health. I think it's a really nice way to represent dead, unhealthy soil versus healthy soil.
Yeah, and you can just.
That's the other thing I was going to do. Just move some of the flour away. Do you want me to do it? Yeah, what's interesting about this?
Actually, allotment on the path. Well, that's dead soil, but we didn't mean to.
Yeah.
I just keep on kicking off with my waves, and it's just.
Well, that shows it's gone dusty. But what's interesting here? We poured loads of water on there. That's completely dry. So that's another good example that dead soil doesn't absorb water. It makes it run off and it washes all the nutrients and soil away. Well, that would just show it's raining more and more. So I think that's probably a long enough video. So thanks for watching, and I hope that was helpful. It's a nice experiment.
Yeah, when we're done, I'm going to rain it a bit more.
Oh, good stuff.
Bye.